the trellis method on our tomatoes. We get these agricultural twine boxes. They have like the built-in belt loop on them, so you can just throw the box on through the belt, keep it on your side, and then this is the classic version of what they call the Florida weave, I believe. I don't really do it the Florida weave the way that a lot of folks do it, so I don't know if we're going to call this the Southern Oregon weave or something like that. Anyway, it's kind of an adaptation of the Florida weave. So you do use the PVC pipe just like in the Florida weave, and if you don't have a belt, you can just use a piece of baling twine to put around your waist. So anyway, so you have a piece of PVC pipe. You can experiment with different lengths. This length is what works for me, depending on your height. And then you just tie the string off where you're going to start on the line. This line is pretty much done, so we're going to move over here to this other bed. And we're going to tie this off. Spaghetti madness. Tie this off over here. And I personally, because I'm right-handed, I like to work left to right like this, just because of the way it strings up. And then, so our setup out here for the trellises is we have there's about 5 or 6 tomato plants between each post. I believe the classic Florida weave, they usually have a single wooden post, a wooden stake, that's actually only about this high or maybe a little bit higher per plant. But that's a lot more stakes than I wanted, and I want to be able to reuse these metal stakes for a long time. So that's what I've done, is I just use a T-post for every 5, and then I kind of do this version of the Florida weave for this. And it's going to be interesting here to show you how we do this, because these plants are leaning this way. So we'll just zoom past that and go down here. The cool thing with this is you can kind of wiggle your way through. You have to go up and over. You can pull it tight. Get another. So 2 loops around will usually lock it into place. So move on down here. Here. And it takes some practice to get used to all this, but once you kind of get a system down, man, it goes fast. Okay, so here you can see the plants are flopping. Plants are a little bit bigger than what I'd normally want them to be to do the trellising, but just in interest of time, we just kind of had to put it off. We had other things going on, and then we had a heat wave. So now we're just dealing with them being a little bit bigger. So with this PVC pipe, you can really guide the string underneath things, so you can really get underneath things like that, and then you come up here to the next post. And I don't worry too much about working around the plants, because I'm trying to go quickly, because there's so many linear feet out here to do. But then you bring it around, and that PVC pipe really gives you this control. You do have to be careful you don't cut yourself at the top of the post. So you go around once, you let that pipe just go like that, and then it allows you to pull this tight, and it actually pulls the plant up. So the first time around is how I pull it tight, and then I go around a second time, and that kind of locks the string in so it doesn't fall back over. And then you can keep going on down here. We'll go to the next one, so you can see the PVC pipe. It lets me guide the string underneath the plants. And here we are to the next post. Go up and around. One time around, pull it tight. You can pull that tight. See, it pulls the plants up. I'm going around a second time. And I am definitely not the fastest at this, but I tell you, this is way faster and way easier on your body than just hunched over the whole time. Okay, so sometimes what I'll do is these 2 sections that I just did, they're still falling over a little bit. So I will even just go back over this section again to hold them up. We go back around here one time, pull it tight, and now it's kind of holding the plants up. Go around here, like that. Come on down, go underneath. And really this pipe, what it does is it just lets you guide the string to wherever you need it to go. It's really cool how well it works. Pull that tight. And you will find your breaking limit with this too, because I always try to pull it as tight as I can, and then I keep pulling tighter until I break the string once. And once you break the string once, you kind of know where that break limit is, and you just don't take it to that limit all the time. All right, so we're going around here. And then let's go on back down here. Nothing there. I'm putting the string up there for as the plants get bigger too. And so normally what I'll do is I'll just go all the way down one side and come all the way down the other side. But for demonstration purposes right now, I'm going to go ahead and around the end here and go back down the other side so you can see what this does. Okay, so I'm going to go back around and down. Okay, so now we're gonna, this side's really flopped, so we're gonna work our way underneath the plants. So the PVC pipe's really letting me guide it. I'm just dragging along the ground, get that string underneath there, and then I'm gonna work my way back up through this plant. You kind of wiggle it through, and it's really just, it's like threading a needle, honestly. Come up and around here. Okay, I'm going around once, and now this is where it's going to be really cool, because this whole thing should lift up. See how it's lifting up, and it brings that whole plant layer up. I'm going to go around the second time, and that kind of like locks it in, or sometimes even a third time kind of locks it in. And now we're going to go ahead and work to this next post. So again, I'm dragging the post underneath, threading my way up through here, going around once, pulling that tight. See, it brings it up. And then you can see like there's that one branch that kind of fell. You can decide whether you want to go back or not. Here, I'll go ahead and lock this one in the third time. And the other thing I see people worry about is getting the plant caught in the string in here. I don't worry about that too much, because especially here in Southern Oregon, these tomato plants grow so fast. If you have a branch that's caught in the string, it grows out of it. Even if it falls off, there's so much plant matter out here. But if you want to take the time to kind of clear off around each one of those posts, you can. But if you look at the size of our patch here, we're going to have more tomatoes than we know what to do with. So I don't worry about that too much. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab these branches that I feel like, normally I might not grab this, but right now I'm gonna, just to show that you can just go back, go up and around, pull it tight. There we are. And we're gonna go on to the next. Now the one thing is that once you've set a line of string, you can't really go below that string again, because then you can't really feed this through, if that makes sense. So when you start low, the next subsequent line of string, you basically have to go up just a little bit higher. So like here, I'm up higher, and now I want to work back down underneath. So here I am, threading it through, wiggling it up until I get up around here, going around. I'm going to pull it tight, and there it is, brings it up. And then we're going to go around to lock it in one more time, two more times, and there you go. So you just kind of keep going with that. It takes a while to get used to all this, but man, as you can see, I'm not really hunched over and in here messing with stuff all the time. I'm staying mostly upright as I go. It makes it go really quick. So like yesterday I got one whole line, which is 400 feet. I got one whole line done in about half hour, 45 minutes. As opposed to if you're hand tying down in there, it may take you 2 or 3 hours. And all of those additions in time, it really makes quite a difference. So anyway, that's the Southern Oregon weave that I've been using for years. Hope that helps.